Hey, that worked. New fancy remote. How exciting. Hi, this is Jackie with VSG and PSA, and today is Saturday, June 23rd, and this is actually a combined update of my week 7 and week 8 post-op, which technically means I've hit my 2-month surgeversary. Yay! I'm very excited. It's been a good couple of weeks, but it's been a crazy couple of weeks. Very busy with school year-end activities and a lot of deadlines at work and just all around craziness. And so I'm going to start with some stats and then we'll go into kind of what's happened over the past 2 weeks. There's been some good and some bad and some great, and so I'll share all that. So first of all, again, my name is Jackie. I had VSG, or vertical sleeve gastrectomy, on April 27th, 2018 with Dr. Dustin Bermudez in Rex Hospital with Rex Bariatrics in Raleigh, North Carolina. I'm 51 years old, 5'2", and my highest weight ever was 228 pounds. On the day of surgery, I was 208 pounds. And on week 7, which was 2 weeks ago, or a week ago on my week 7 post-op, I have to look at my notes here, I weighed 185.5, which gave me a BMI of 35, which was a total loss from my highest weight of 42.5 pounds, and since surgery, 22.5 pounds. Now, between week 6 and week 7, I only lost 0.3 pounds. So that was kind of the bad. I had a week where I really kind of stalled, and I think I know why I may have done some of that, or why that may have happened, or it could have just been a cyclical thing that my body kind of readjusting, but we'll talk about that a little bit more in a minute. And here at week 8, though, the really great news is I am now today, drum roll, 182 pounds. So I'm excited. I'm getting close to that next decade or whatever. I'm getting closer to the 170s. So I'm very excited. So that 182 gives me a BMI of 33. And again, my goal is 25, so I'm a BMI of 33, and I've lost 46 pounds since my highest weight, and I've lost 26 pounds since surgery. So 26 pounds in 8 weeks. I'm calling that a win, people. I think that's pretty darn good. And we'll talk a little bit in a minute about why and what I have been doing that works and what I think I'm doing that maybe isn't working, and all that kind of fun stuff. So let's get into it. And I have some NSVs, and I will finish up this video. If this is really long and I ramble, I may shut this off and then do a separate video of just body shots, because I said I would every month I would do a comparison to week 1 post-op, which was the first time I really did publicly available body shots, and compared to week 1 compared to week 8. And we can see if we can see a difference visually. I definitely feel a difference. It's just visually, how are things coming? So week 7, let's just take a step back to that 2 weeks ago, or a week ago, when I weighed myself for week 7. I was disappointed that I only saw a 0.3 pound loss. But I haven't really had a stall to speak of. A lot of people say there's like a 2-week stall or a 1-month stall, and I'm only 2 months out, so I really haven't gotten, I feel like, through enough of the process to hit a real honest to goodness stall where people have said, you know, at month 8 I stalled for a month or something. Yeah, I can see that potentially happening, especially as you get closer and closer to your goal weight, and losing the weight becomes more and more difficult. But now that I'm in the honeymoon stage of, you know, this close to my surgery date, I did expect it, you know, weekly I should be losing a couple of pounds a week. That week I did not. Here's one of the reasons I think why. One, I was released to go at that point to go in to reintegrate regular foods. So I had been through my 2-week post-op full liquids, then I went into 2 weeks of pureed, and then 2 weeks of soft food, 4, 6, yep. And so that week, between week 6 and 7, is when I was able to reintroduce foods. And one of my, I have to be honest with you guys, one of my favorite foods, I love cheese. I love all kinds of cheese. And I really love making caprese. If you don't know what that is, just a slice, with the way I make it, a slice of tomato, a slice of mozzarella cheese, like fresh mozzarella cheese. You know, the cold, it comes in a ball and you slice it up. with a little bit of basil, and then I make my own balsamic reduction, right? So I just take balsamic vinegar and I just boil it down until it's like a syrupy consistency, and you drizzle that over it. It's one of my favorite things to eat, and in the summer, it's a great food to eat because it's cold and it's fresh, and you have fresh ingredients and everything, and I use fresh basil and fresh tomatoes and everything. But I found myself saying, oh great, I can eat this again. And I slowly reintroduced tomatoes, and the tomato had no issues whatsoever with anything, honestly, that I have eaten since post-surgery, with maybe one small exception, and I can address that in a minute when I talk about when I've started now going out to eat or eating with groups and other events. But in particular, I bought a big log of the mozzarella cheese that I really like. I buy it at Walmart, but it's the fresher mozzarella, you know, cheese. And I was in that mindset of how I used to make my capreses, which means that I cut a slice of mozzarella that's about this big around and about that thick, and I threw it on top of that slice of tomato. And I thought, oh, I'll just, you know, I can probably only eat a couple of these, maybe 2 or 3. In the past, I could cut up 2 or 3 Campari tomatoes, 4 slices each, and I could eat half a dozen or more than that, probably 8 or 10 slices of, which would have a slice of tomato, slice of mozzarella, and the basil. You know, I could woof those things down, man. And so I knew I couldn't eat as many because my stomach just won't allow it. But I was kind of like in that whole kind of previous mindset of this huge chunk of cheese anyway. I ate about 3 of those, was extremely full because the cheese, of course, is very heavy. And it was lots of calories, fat calories in particular, that I had not had. I did not have any stomach discomfort or distress. I did not have any issues with reflux because of the tomatoes. I didn't have any issues with, you know, anything bowel related because of the heavier fat that was in this particular cheese or anything. But it was a lot. And it was a lot, even though I only had a couple pieces, it was just so much more fat and cheese product than I had, you know, for the past probably, you know, 4 or 5 months. And so as I was doing it, this is the psychology of this. This is where the whole, you know, surgery fixes one thing, but it certainly doesn't fix everything. It doesn't fix your emotional mindset, your mental mindset, your I deserve this, I've had a hard week, I'm going to have a big slab of cheese kind of mindset, you know, be damned what it really means to what you're trying to do for yourself and your health. And as I was I literally, as I was cutting it, do you guys do this? As I was cutting the cheese, I kept thinking, whoa, you shouldn't be doing this. Oh my gosh, this is way too much. Oh, I'm putting it in mouth going, why are you doing this? Literally having this internal dialogue the whole time. I'm shoving this stuff in my mouth. And I truly was flabbergasted after I had eaten this. And also, I ate it way too quickly. But again, thankfully, or maybe not thankfully, because maybe if I had some really bad, like, oh, I feel sick to my stomach or anything like that, maybe it would have kind of taught me a lesson. I didn't have that because, again, I stopped before I even significantly overate. Like, to anybody else, they would have said, oh gosh, you just had that tiny amount of food. But you and I know, if you've been through these surgeries, you know that any push beyond what your stomach can really hold, it can cause discomfort. And you get full quickly, so at least you have that trigger of, ooh, I'm uncomfortably full. And so I did stop before I ever got to any kind of real discomfort. But guys, what is that about just not, you know, just not stopping myself? What? I literally had this dialogue going in my head saying, stop doing this. So I had to reassess some things. You know, after that, I really sat down, and this is at least the good thing that's coming out of this, is I had to kind of have a come to Jesus with myself and really sit down. And, you know, my motto, I haven't even posted on my refrigerator, is, you know, be kind to your future self. And I sat there going, how was that kind to your future? How was that kind to your present self? And how was that kind to your future self, Jackie? So I really kind of had, you know, if anybody had been inside my brain, they would have thought, boy, this chick really needs some help. And I had some of this conversation out loud as well, but I don't think my family was in the kitchen with me while I was doing this. Of course, the rest of my family came in. I had made all this caprese, and they came in and woofed it down, you know, and so thankfully there was nothing left for me to go back to in 2 hours when I wasn't as full. But I got to be honest with you. I mean, that it's a struggle. It is. Do not be fooled, and every other person who's been through this will tell you the exact same advice, and so I'm just here to validate what all these other people have experienced and can attest to. And that is, do not be fooled that you think some sort of bariatric surgery is going to solve your mental, emotional baggage or habits or any of those kind of things that you've dealt with, even in a short period of time of your life, or if it's lifelong issues. You will continue to battle those, but I will tell you, it does give you the triggers to stop the behavior. And then I think by the grace of God, I really sat down and said, hey, guess what, Jackie? You can't buy that cheese. You just can't do it. You can't purchase it. There's other things that I have had no problem letting go of. French fries, which used to be the love of my life. I haven't had a French fry in, I don't know, 6-8 months. Don't miss it. Don't even care. McDonald's French fries, oh, so good. Frosty's French fries dipped in chocolate. Wendy's French fries dipped in Frosties, fabulous. Sorry if I'm triggering anybody. Those were kind of my go-to high carb, high fat foods that I just loved, and I felt like I deserved them. Tough day, I get some French fries. Kids are screaming, I'm gonna go get some French fries. Had a great day, got a promotion, go get some French fries. Like, that was kind of my go-to. I don't miss that all, but cheese has been a little harder one for me. So anyway, that's kind of my story about why I feel like week 7 probably stalled, because I was trying new foods. I was reintroducing foods that I hadn't had in the past, at least since surgery. And when I say reintroducing, I reintroduce things like pork medallions. So we buy, big packages of pork medallions, or pork. They're boneless pork chops, I guess, or pork loin. And we baked those, or my husband brines them and then cooks them sous vide, or something like that. And so I would have 2 or 3 ounces of pork for dinner, so I reintroduced that into my diet. So heavier kind of proteins, and obviously cheese, I did that. Other snacks, I wasn't doing that. I was eating more avocado, which of course is higher fat. And I had switched from, the other reason I think maybe I stalled, again, other than just it's part of the game, is potentially because I moved from walking every morning to doing swimming. And sometimes when I'm with my husband, I wasn't, and when I say swimming, it's more like water aerobics. I swim a couple of laps, and that's really all I can handle. I used to be a swimmer in my youth, but my breathing isn't there, my stamina isn't there, and so I do much more water calisthenics, or water aerobics, walking laps, and then doing arm lifts while I'm walking, or pushing against the water and doing all that kind of stuff. But I moved from walking, which I was at a really fast pace. I walked by myself. I could really push myself when I wanted to. I have a very hilly neighborhood, and so I would go up and down hills, to this walking. And when I did it with my husband, it was great that he would come do it with me, but he kind of slowed me down because I was chit-chatting, or if I did it with a friend, I was chit-chatting. And then, so that week, I really wasn't getting in all of the exercise that I had been getting in previous weeks. And I think the exercise was absolutely helping me lose weight more quickly. Even though it wasn't strenuous, it wasn't like I was going to the gym and like power working out, none of that. Just a very direct, purposeful, focused aerobic walk of 2.5 miles, 2 miles every morning is what I was doing. So now I'm swimming, and so anyway, that was week 7. So to sum up week 7. But still, I had lost, by that point I had lost 23 pounds or something like that. So I was feeling good since surgery. I was feeling good. So then week 8 came, and every single morning it was just like, you sometimes have those bad weeks that are just kind of blah, blah, and everything's just kind of moving along. And then this past week, man, I was firing on all cylinders. I was up every single morning. I was at the pool, so I'd walk up to the pool with my son, which is about 1/4 mile. Then I would work out for anywhere, doing the aerobics in the water, from anywhere from 45 minutes to an hour. And I would push myself. I have a kickboard, so I would sometimes do laps. I would sometimes do kickboard stuff, and then other times I would do kind of the aerobic, calisthenics in the pool, jumping jacks and stuff like that. And then I would walk that 1/4 mile home, and then, gosh, the energy I have for work after that, getting up and doing that at 7 or 7:30 or whatever time I'm walking out the door, was great. And then I would have great energy for work and everything. Now 9:30 at night, I'm toast. I'm so ready for bed at 9:30 every night, but I've always been an earlier to rise, earlier to bed kind of person. I have friends and family who are like, you know, they get their second wind at midnight and they're going great and they're so creative. I'm done. Every sleepover as a kid, I was always the first one to fall asleep. I just cannot stay up late. My body clock does not work that way, which is fine with me because I like getting up with the sun, frankly. I enjoy it. It gives me energy for the day. Anyway, so week 8 was great, and then I did some really fun stuff. So here's some NSVs. So then I broke down and I went shopping. I had got a couple of weeks, you know, post-surgery, or about around week 4, I went and bought some new bras because my bras were big even before surgery, and then afterward they were just too big and standing off of me, and I just was really thrilled to go and buy some smaller bras, so they feel great. But I had not bought things like new underwear yet because I thought, who cares about baggy underwear? But it was starting to bother me because, this is probably TMI, but it was bunching up in my blue jeans and stuff. And if I wore a smaller pair of shorts that fit me, the underwear was like, I don't know, it was just too big. I wear big old granny underwear anyway. So anyway, I bought some smaller underwear, like 2 sizes smaller of Hanes cotton underwear, which is what I buy. And they fit, and they were comfortable, and they weren't pinching me, and my belly wasn't blubbing over it, and I was very excited about that. So that I thought was an NSV. So I bought new underwear, and that was probably about 3 or 4 weeks ago, I bought new underwear. And then I went to, I don't know if you guys have Cato, it's inexpensive clothing. I went to the Cato shop. I'm trying to remember if I already talked about this in my last video. I can't remember if I did or not. So if this is a repeat, I apologize. But I went to Cato and I went shopping, and I went to the plus size area first out of habit. And I thought I would pick up the smallest plus size shirts and try-ons because I just needed some tops. I have different sizes of pants and shorts I could wear, but I really needed some tops that didn't seem so blousy and feel like, I don't know, I just wanted something that was a little more fitted and fit my smaller frame as it stands now, but not spend a lot of money. I've gone shopping at Goodwill, but it takes forever to dig through all the racks and try and find something that's your size and also something that is your style and that you'll be comfortable wearing. So I thought I'm just going to go to Cato and pick up a couple things. I had a gift card too. So anyway, went to the smallest size and the plus size, too big. Went to this normal size, or whatever you call it, that wasn't juniors, but the regular sizes, and picked up an extra large, too big. Picked up the large, it fit great. I picked up a medium just to see, hey, how far am I from wearing this medium? The mediums actually fit too. They were just a little tight across the bust, a little too fitted across the belly bulge. So I thought, no, I'm not ready for that. So I got a shirt there. So that was fun. Then I went to Kohl's, another store I love because they have lots of stuff. Went to the plus size section, pulled out some stuff, way too big. Went to extra larges in the regular section, too big. Went, and I thought Cato's clothes are usually kind of generous, so I kind of figured, well, they tend to fit a little bit bigger. You know, stores have different ranges, and so anyway, I thought in Kohl's, okay, Kohl's, I'm getting closer to kind of like more typical size, so I thought I would wear larger sizes. No, I came out of there with 2 adorable tops that fit me perfectly, and even had a little bit of room that were size large. And with my chest, folks, I mean, like, I'm a double D, like I'm wearing right now 40 double D, 40 or 38, 48, 40 double D. And so my problem usually is, I mean, yes, I've got the belly, but I also have to get around this chest. Largest fit. I was so excited. And then even a medium. Yes, ladies and gentlemen. Now, granted, it's a flared bottom top. So the bottom flares out. So it doesn't, you know, it's not like a tight t-shirt that's like clinging to your body. But I thought those were huge NSVs. I was very excited about that. That was really fun. And I called my husband from the fitting room and said, this is the most fun I have had shopping in probably 25 years. I despise shopping, as many of us do, because clothes don't fit well. They don't look great. And what you think looks good, you see it later and you realize, oh, I didn't even notice, you know, that didn't fit real well. And so came home with a couple of shirts, and actually they were adorable little off-the-shoulder numbers that kind of everybody is wearing these days. And my husband basically, who's actually really good at this kind of thing, he's really good at shopping, said, those don't flatter you. They're too baggy in the front. And I said, but I don't want anything close to me. He goes, but they don't flatter your figure. You have a waist, and they're not very flattering. I suggest you go and get, you know, this style or whatever. And he was absolutely right. And so I took those back and I got something else. But anyway, last piece. Went to Old Navy when it comes to clothes. Went to Old Navy because they were said on their big signs, 30% off, right? So I'm like, okay, Old Navy clothes have not fit me over the years. I'm short and I'm heavy. Or was heavier, but I'm short. And everything they make is like these long t-shirts that come down to my knees, or these tank tops that are so long flowing dresses. I despise the maxi dress. I don't know, those of you who are like 5'8", God bless you. I wish to God that I had some height. But that style of clothing is so horrible on those of us who are short. Even the skinny mini short people don't really look great in some maxi dress when you're that short, because you don't get to show off your assets, which are your nice thin legs and anyway. So needless to say, I'm not an Old Navy shopper for myself. For my daughter, they have adorable stuff that looks cute on her. Tried on some adorable stuff there, and I thought, well, this is Old Navy, and this is more teenagery kind of young people clothes. I'm 51 people, I'm no spring chicken. So I thought, well, there's not a whole lot in here that will fit me, but I'll try some stuff on. Larges fit, mediums fit. Again, these are not the tight t-shirts or the long t-shirts. These are cute little shirts that honestly would probably be cropped on other people, but they kind of fit me just right. Maybe a petite length for normal people, or, you know, but for normal people it might be a crop shirt, but for me it would. Anyway, they fit and they were so cute. And I bought a pair of skinny jeans. And skinny only because, I mean, they're size 16, but that's 4 sizes, 22, 18, that's 4 sizes down from what I was wearing 4 months ago. So 16 skinny jeans in white, and they were, the reason I wanted them is because the thighs were more fitted. So I always buy bigger jeans to fit around my belly and my gut. My thighs are big, but that's not the biggest part of me. And so I would always have these really baggy jeans in the thigh to make up so that I could wear in the waist. Well, I bought the so-called skinny jean in a size 16, and it fit perfectly. I mean, I zipped them up, I put them up, I thought, this is amazing. And they're not baggy in my thighs. So my husband was like, those look great. I'm like, I know, right? Now, there are people all across this world who would be mortified to say they were in a size 16, but you and I know better. Size 16 is fabulous. And since the average size of a woman in the United States is like an average size 12 to 14, I'm thrilled with my size 16s. I know I'm going to keep going down from here, but I was thrilled about that. And those were the only thing, by the way, that was actually on sale. Every other shirt I tried on, they wanted like $30, $40. I'm like, because I'm not finished losing weight, and I'm not going to waste money on that. Now, I hope everybody's doing great. I hope you guys are having a great summer, and I will catch up with you next week, I promise. Bye.